So, good evening, dear students. Myself, Dr. Jay Dave, Associate Professor, Computer Engineering Department. And actually, in today's lecture, we are going to continue from the point from where we have left the last time. So, basically, it is all about software project management. And here, today, we are going to discuss about the estimation. So, my beloved students, as far as this term estimation, when it is get associated with software project, mainly it emphasizes on four key points, namely the cost of the project, the size of the project, the effort it is going to take in order to complete the project, and the time it is going to consume in order to complete the project, as well as the successful delivery of the software project. My dear students, these 4 points are actually interrelated. So, how can I say that it is interrelated? So, if I want to assess that how much effort is it going to take for completing the project, for that I must know that what is the size of the project. When I talk about the size of the project, we usually try to measure it in the number of modules which are available as far as the project is concerned. In addition to that, we are also going to take into serious consideration the number of line of code which is to be written for implementation of the particular project functionality. So as I was saying, that when we are discussing about the effort cannot be computed without knowing the size of the project. Also, if I want to estimate the effort, I must know that how much manpower is going to require. So my dear students, when I say the manpower is nothing but the software engineers, the programmers who are going to work for completion of my particular project, and those particular people are going to work for my project for a particular duration of time. And this time, this effort, the size of the project, it is ultimately going to sum up as far as the cost of the project is concerned. So basically, if I want to compute the software's overall cost, I must able to decide that what is the size of the project in terms of module, as I've said, then how many skilled employees are going to be required for what duration, what are the wages I'm going to offer to them, and on that basis, I can able to compute my, cost it is going to incur to me as a software project company. So this is all about the estimation of the project. And now, if somebody wants to compute or estimate the correct factors about the software project, in software engineering subject there are certain metrics which are available. So my dear students, there might be a question in your mind that what are these metrics all about. So basically, when I talk about any sort of metric, the essential goal of the software metric is to identify and control the essential parameters that affect the software development. So, in other words, if I want to simplify the particular term matrix, I can say that the metric is going to be very much crucial and helpful for estimating the entire progress, not only the progress, but also I can say the quality and health of the particular software. I can say that it can be classified into three different categories. So, my dear friends, there are three different categories which are in existence as far as software metrics are concerned. So, one of them is called product metrics, the other one is process metrics, and the last one is called project metrics. So, moving further, let us get some more insight about what these three types of metrics are actually all about. So when I was addressing the product metrics, I should able to identify that the product metrics are going to describe the characteristics of the product, such as size, complexity, design features, performance, and the quality level. But when I say what is process metric, I can able to share with you that it can be used to improve the software development and the maintenance processes. Its examples are including the effectiveness of defect removal during the development, the pattern of testing defect arrival, and the response time of the fixing process. So in nutshell, my dear friends, I can suggest that the process metrics are all about pertaining the quality of the particular software product which is being developed. So you can observe all these points like defect removal, then identifying the arrival of some kind of pattern. So all these points are related mainly about the quality of the software. And last, but the last one is project metrics, which is going to describe the project characteristics and execution. For example, include the number of software developers, the staffing pattern over the life cycle of the software, as well as cost and scheduled and the productivity. So it is, broad points which are pertaining to project metrics, which mainly emphasize on the staffing, which means how many number of skilled employees are going to require for the entire duration of the life cycle of the particular software project. And pertaining to that, I can say the various types of cost and schedule and productivity, which is included in the same category of the matrix. Moving further, metric for software project size estimation. There are mainly two types of metrics available. As I was suggesting earlier, one metric is called LOC, which is nothing but an abbreviation of line of code. And the second is the function point. It is pertaining to the number of functionality which are going to get implemented as a part of software project development. Let's begin with the first one first, which is line of code. So basically LOC is the most simplest among all metrics which are available for estimating the particular project size of the project. Using this metric, the project size is estimated by counting the number of source instructions in the development or the program which is going to get developed. So my dear friends, I can suggest that the project size, as it is most simplest kind of particular metric, it mainly emphasizes on how many number of source of instructions are there in the particular program. And while computing all these number of instructions written, we need to eliminate the comments, which means you are not supposed to count the comments which are written as a part of coding. And lastly, I can say that it is useful for determining the LOC count at the end of the project is very simple job. Okay, so this is all about line of code. So line of code, as I've said, that for a particular project you are having number of modules, and each modules contain different types of functionalities, and those functionalities will be implemented with the help of line of code. It may be in any kind of particular programming language, right? So in any of the programming language you will have this particular line of code. But one important and the most key point which we need to understand here is that while computing the line of code, we are supposed to omit the number of comments that we have written as a programmer. Moving further, how one can actually count the line of code at the starting page. So in order to estimate the line of code count at the beginning of the project, basically it is key responsibility of the particular person called project manager. It is a key role in a software engineering firm. So basically these project managers are very much important because they are holding a crucial level of experience and expertise in the field of software industry. So these project managers are usually going to divide a problem into modules. So problem is nothing but what implementation for what particular stakeholder or what particular client, what project you are going to implement. As I've said, that particular complex problem will be divided into some sort of modules, and each of these modules will be further subdivided into submodules, and so on. Till what point? So I can suggest that until the size of the different leaf level modules can be approximately predicted. To be able to do this, the past experience in developing and similar product is going to be very much crucial and the helpful at the same time. By using the estimation of lowest level of modules, the project managers can actually able to arrive at the total size of estimation. Now moving further, the project estimation technique which are there on offering is empirical estimation technique and heuristic technique. So let us first explore what is empirical estimation technique. So empirical estimation technique are based on making an educated guess of the project parameter. So here, my dear students, we need to understand what is the difference between the wild guess and the educated guess. So this is kind of educated guess, which means it is not a rough guess that you are going to make. So while using this technique, prior experience with the development of similar product is going to be very much helpful. So as I have said that it is a calculated estimation. While when you're able to make a appropriate calculated estimation, only when you are having in-depth experience, or you can say you have the expertise of working on the similar project in the past. So that will actually give you the insight that how you can actually predict it. Basically, talking about empirical estimation techniques, there are a couple of types: expert judgment technique, and the second one is Delphi cost estimation. So we are going to commence the discussion about expert judgment technique. So in this very approach, an expert is going to make an educated guess of the problem size after analyzing the problem. The expert estimates the cost of the different components. For example, the modules and the sub-modules that we have referred in our earlier discussion of the system, and then they are going to combine them to arrive at the overall estimation. So it is very much simple, my dear friends. Like if I talk about, let's say, e-commerce system. So in an e-commerce system, there can be different sort of modules. So let's say there is a inventory module is there. So for inventory module, it is mainly all about the different types of products and the different types of items which is going to be sold online. So for that, there can be mixed set of functionality, like various users are there, and those users are going to users like admin, then customers. When I talk about the customer, they are going to view the product, they are going to add it to the cart, they are going to check out for the payment procedure. Likewise, if I talk about the admin role, in case of admin, they can add the product, they can modify the details of the products like expiry date, their quantity, volume, color, etc. So basically, this is an example which I just want to bring into your notice, that let's say e-commerce system is there. Then in the e-commerce system we are having the module. Now this module of inventory, it is actually all about the item and the product, right? So if I want to, in seldom cases it could be possible to further subdivide this particular module into some small chunks or small part. But let us take upon the inventory module as a whole. So whosoever is the expert who is going to make the judgment, then he is going to consider this particular module, and for this module, based on his past experiences and the expertise, he or she is going to actually count that how much effort is going to required in order to you know uh, complete the project development. Now, talking about the drawbacks, or I can say the shortcomings of expert judgment technique. So, at the end, we can say that all the experts are nothing but the human beings. So, there are ample number of chance that humans can commit certain mistakes. So human errors are always going to happen as far as expert judgment technique is there. Then there could be a chance that that expert can be biased, or individual bias could be there. An expert making an estimate may not have experience and knowledge of all the aspects of it. For example, he may be, conversant with the database and the user interface part, but may not be very knowledgeable about the computer communication part. So in that case, he or she can commit certain mistake, and that may eventually lead to false estimation of the project, my dear friends. So what can be done in order to overcome this kind of problem of the expert judgment technique? So one simple and the most convenient kind of solution is that you should build a group of experts, and let those people, those who are part of a group, they may estimate the entire project, or by a group of expertise, which is actually going to minimize the factors such as individual oversight or lack of familiarity with the particular aspect of the project, and personal bias also can be overcome. There is also one disadvantage, that political pressure could be there in case of this technique as well. So my dear friends, now let us move towards the another kind of technique, which is called Delphi cost estimation. So Delphi estimation is carried out by a team comprising of group of experts and coordinator. As we have seen in the previous technique as well, there is a probability where group of experts are coming together and try to overcome the particular problem. In this approach, the coordinator provides each estimator with a copy of software requirement specification document and form recording um, his cost estimate. So there are a couple of differences actually as far as Delphi cost estimation is concerned. In this very technique, there exists a group of experts, but then there is a specific role allocated to one particular person who is going to act as a coordinator and who is also responsible for availing the software requirement specification document to the group of people who are involved and those who are indulged in the cost estimation technique. Now, let's discuss further about Delphi cost estimation. The estimators are going to complete their individual estimates and submit to the coordinator. So there is a particular hierarchy which has been formed in this particular technique, right? So there is one coordinator, and under the coordinator there are estimators, and the estimators are going to submit their evaluation report to the particular coordinator. The coordinator is in turn going to be responsible for preparing and distributing the summary of the response with all the estimators, those who are present during the entire process. Based on this summary, the estimator is going to re-estimate the entire aspect, and the process is iterated for the several rounds. So this is the key difference. Now, um, however, I can say that no discussion among the estimators is allowed during the entire estimation process. So it is not going to be actually biased, and it is supposed to be individual process and independent as well. After the completion of several iterations of the estimation, the coordinators are going to take the responsibility of compiling the results and providing the final estimate. Now, moving further, there is a technique called as heuristic technique. So basically, this technique assumes that the relationship among the different projects. Parameters can be modeled using suitable mathematical expression. Basically, here we are going to have two models for heuristic techniques, single variable method and the double variable method. So what exactly is a single variable method? A single variable estimation model takes the following form, and the estimated parameter would be, it would be like, hello. So friends, I think there is some issue. So we would continue from this particular heuristic technique of single variable and multiple variable, which is called as double variable, from my next lecture onwards. So at this point, we are going to surmise like what we have studied today. So in today's lecture, we have started the discussion from the point called what are the various types of estimation and what are the key terms indulged in this particular estimation technique, namely cost, size, effort, and time. As far as software metric is concerned, we have tried to identify what exactly is the software metric. Then we have seen three different categories of the software metrics, namely product, process, and the project metrics. And then we went on to discuss about line of sight. Sorry, it's not line of sight, it's line of code, and then functional point. And then we have in-depth discussion about the line of code, and then various types of project estimation techniques. We have gone through empirical and heuristic techniques, and then we have also explored a couple of types of empirical estimation techniques, namely the expert judgment and Delphi cost. And then at last we were about to discuss about heuristic technique, but the single variable and the double variable technique is yet to be discussed in the subsequent lecture. So thank you, dear friends, and now I will discontinue at this very point.